7. Signs your death is near. Life is a journey, a beautiful yet fleeting adventure, and we all know that the end is inevitable. We can choose to ignore it, deny it, or even fear it, but deep down, we all know that death is a part of the cycle we must face. What if, instead of fearing the unknown, we could learn to recognize the signs that tell us our time is approaching? What if we could live our final days with a sense of peace, acceptance, and understanding, knowing that we have walked the path with purpose? Today, I want to share with you 7 signs that your death might be near. These signs aren't something you can find in a textbook or a medical journal. They are the whispers of wisdom passed down from elders who have lived long lives and have seen the ebb and flow of their own mortality. These are the signs that many who have walked the earth before us have recognized as they neared the end of their journey. They are subtle yet profound, and they give us a glimpse into the deeper layers of life and death. I know that when we speak of death, it's easy for people to become uncomfortable. It's a topic most of us shy away from, as if by ignoring it we can delay its arrival. But in truth, death is simply the other side of the coin that is life. One cannot exist without the other. And rather than fearing it, we should embrace the idea that death in its own way is a blessing, a natural progression that comes when it's our time. As we walk through life, we often focus on the small things, the stresses, the worries, the daily grind, and forget that every breath we take is one closer to the end. We think we have all the time in the world, that there's always another day to make amends, another moment to chase our dreams. But the truth is, life doesn't wait for us to catch up. It moves forward, relentlessly, and as we get older, we start to sense that time is slipping away, sometimes without even realizing it. There comes a time, usually in the later stages of life, when you begin to feel a change. You may not recognize it at first, but there's something different about your body, your mind, and your spirit. It's as if a quiet voice inside you is saying, "It's almost time." You may start to notice that your energy is no longer what it once was, or that you're feeling a deeper sense of awareness that things are shifting. You might not even understand what's happening, but deep down, you sense it. These are the moments when your body and soul begin to prepare for the next stage of existence. As we dive deeper into the 7 signs of impending death, I want you to approach this topic not with fear, but with curiosity and peace. The reality is that we all will face it, but how we face it can make all the difference. The wisdom of the elderly teaches us that death is not an end, but a transition that can be met with grace, understanding, and acceptance. And it's in these final moments that we have an opportunity to reflect on the life we've lived, the choices we've made, and the legacy we leave behind. So, I invite you to sit with me for a moment. Take a deep breath, allow yourself to reflect on your life, and open your mind to the signs that may come. These are not just physical signs, but spiritual markers that remind us of the impermanence of our existence. They show us that life is a gift, and death, when it comes, is simply the final chapter of a beautiful story. Let's take this journey together with the wisdom of those who have walked before us and explore the signs that tell us when the time is near. Because in the end, knowing the signs isn't about fearing death, it's about embracing life. Sign number 1. The sense of knowing. A deep, quiet awareness. Have you ever experienced a moment when everything seemed to slow down, when you suddenly felt a profound sense of clarity, like the world had stopped for just a second? For many of us, that moment is fleeting, but for those who have lived long lives, that moment becomes more than just a passing thought. It becomes an understanding, an intuitive sense that the end is near. It's difficult to describe, but many elders speak of a quiet knowing that the time has come. It's not a fear or a sudden panic, but a calm realization that their journey is nearing its end. This isn't something you can find in a doctor's report or a checklist of symptoms. It's a deeper awareness that seems to grow within you, sometimes without explanation. This sense of knowing is often accompanied by a sense of peace. It's not about dreading what's to come, but accepting that the time has come to let go of the things that no longer serve you. Those who have experienced this often describe it as the feeling of having completed their mission on Earth. They've lived their lives fully, and now they are ready to take the next step into the unknown. You might find yourself reflecting more often than usual, thinking back on the choices you've made, the paths you've walked, and the people you've loved. It's as if the mind and the spirit are preparing for what's next. There's no rushing it, no denying it. The body might feel tired, but the mind and soul are ready to take that final journey. For those who have reached this point, the knowledge of their impending departure is not terrifying. Instead, it brings a sense of calm and clarity that enables them to let go of the anxieties and fears that may have plagued them throughout their life. It's a profound spiritual awareness that transcends time, a quiet whisper from the soul that says, "It's okay." The time has come. Sign number 2, unexplainable fatigue, an overwhelming weariness. As we grow older, fatigue is something we come to accept. We tire more easily, our bodies don't bounce back as quickly, and rest doesn't seem to restore us the way it once did. But there's a kind of fatigue that goes beyond the normal aches and pains of aging. It's a deep, overwhelming weariness that no amount of sleep or rest can cure. It's as if the body is telling you that it's ready to stop, to let go. This isn't simply being tired after a long day or week. It's a persistent, all-encompassing exhaustion that lingers in the body and soul. The physical body begins to slow down, not out of illness or injury, but because it's preparing for something bigger. This kind of fatigue isn't a sign that you've overworked yourself or that you need more rest. It's the body's natural way of signaling that it's preparing for the final chapter of life. Many who have experienced this kind of exhaustion describe it as a quiet surrender. It's as if the body is ready to take a rest from the struggles and exertions of life. There's a profound sense of peace in it, even though the weariness can be overwhelming. The body's rhythms slow down, the heart beats a little slower, and even the mind feels quieter. Elders who have walked this path often speak of a sense of knowing that comes with this fatigue. It's not just physical exhaustion, but an emotional and spiritual one. The body, mind, and soul are preparing to release their hold on this world. It's not a painful fatigue, but one that feels natural, as though the body has run its course and is ready for rest. If you find yourself experiencing this unexplainable weariness, know that it's not something to fear. It's simply a part of the process, a natural transition. It's the body's way of telling you that the time to rest is approaching, not just physically, but on a deeper, more spiritual level. Sign number 3, unfinished business, the urge to complete or settle matters. As we live our lives, we often accumulate unfinished business. Relationships left unspoken, tasks left undone, words left unsaid. Life gets busy, and many of us push these things aside, telling ourselves that we'll get to them eventually. But when the end of life begins to approach, something inside us stirs. It's as if the heart and mind know that there's no more time to waste. The realization hits that there are things that must be resolved, things that cannot be carried into the next phase of existence. This urge to settle unfinished business is one of the most common signs that death is near. It's not about completing every little task or fixing every problem. It's deeper than that. It's about tying up the loose ends of your emotional and spiritual life. It's the desire to reconcile with those you've wronged, to forgive those who have wronged you, and to clear your heart of any bitterness or resentment that might cloud your final moments. Elders often speak of this need to resolve things before they go. Some make amends with estranged family members or friends, even when they haven't spoken in years. Others reflect on their past mistakes, seeking ways to find peace within themselves. It's as if, in those final days, the soul is preparing for the next journey by settling its debts with the world. This isn't about obsessing over every tiny detail or trying to right every wrong. It's a deeper, more spiritual process of letting go. You may find yourself feeling the urge to speak to a loved one you've been distant from, or perhaps you'll feel the need to express gratitude to those who have impacted your life. This completion isn't necessarily about fixing everything. It's about finding peace with what is. As time draws near, the realization comes that life isn't about perfection. It's about connection, love, and understanding. You'll begin to see that it's the unresolved emotional matters that need to be addressed before moving on. This urge to settle unfinished business is not just a mental process, but a spiritual one that can bring deep healing, both for you and for those around you. Sign number 4, the peaceful detachment, a desire for solitude. As we age, we naturally begin to experience moments of solitude, whether it's the quiet of our home, the stillness of the evening, or the peacefulness of being alone with our thoughts. But when death draws near, there's often a deeper sense of detachment that takes over. It's not a feeling of loneliness or abandonment. Instead, it's a quiet withdrawal from the hustle and bustle of life. It's as though the soul begins to retreat from the world in preparation for what lies ahead. This peaceful detachment is a sign that death is near. It's a kind of emotional and spiritual withdrawal that isn't about rejecting the people around you, but about finding a quiet space where you can connect with yourself and the world beyond. You may find yourself seeking more time alone, not because you don't love those around you, but because the soul feels the need for reflection, preparation, and acceptance. Many elders who have reached this stage speak of a desire for solitude. It's not the kind of loneliness that breeds despair, but the kind that brings peace. There's no need for constant interaction or the noise of the world. The focus shifts inward, and the soul begins to prepare for its transition. This detachment isn't a sign of depression. Rather, it's a peaceful acceptance that the time for connection with the physical world is coming to an end. You may feel a pull toward quiet spaces, your favorite chair by the window, the garden, or a peaceful corner of your home. It's where you feel most connected to the deeper parts of yourself and the world beyond. There's an understanding that soon the spirit will no longer need to interact with the world in the same way. The mind and soul prepare for their next journey, and this detachment is the final, peaceful step before the transition. This peaceful detachment can sometimes be misinterpreted by loved ones as a sign of depression or isolation, but in truth, it's simply a part of the process. The soul knows what's coming and seeks a final moment of peace, reflection, and understanding before it steps into the next chapter. It's a beautiful and natural part of the journey, one that shouldn't be feared, but embraced. Sign number 5, the visitations, seeing loved ones who have passed. As the end of life approaches, many people begin to report experiencing visitations from loved ones who have already passed. These experiences are not just limited to dreams, but may occur in waking moments or during periods of deep reflection. The visitations may be brief, but they are often deeply comforting, providing reassurance and a sense of peace. For those who experience them, these encounters are more than just memories or imaginings. They feel like real visits from those who have gone before. In the weeks or days leading up to death, some people speak of seeing family members, friends, or even spiritual figures who have passed away. These visitations can be described as vivid and tangible, as if the veil between this world and the next has thinned. Sometimes the person is able to converse with the loved one, while at other times, the visitation is simply a quiet, wordless presence. For those who have experienced such moments, it's not a terrifying or unsettling event. Rather, it brings comfort and a sense of connection to something beyond this world. The person may feel that they are not alone in their final days. The visitations often carry a sense of peace and acceptance, a knowing that the soul will not journey alone into the next realm. In many cultures, these visitations are seen as a spiritual sign, a confirmation that death is near, and that the loved ones who have passed on are waiting to guide them home. It's not unusual for the dying person to express a sense of calm, as if they have been reassured by the presence of those they once knew. In a way, it's a form of closure, a reminder that the soul is never truly alone and that love transcends physical death. If you begin to experience such visitations, do not be afraid. Understand that it is a sign of peace, not only for the one passing, but also for the loved ones still present. It's as though the soul is preparing for a reunion, and these moments offer the comfort that the end is not an ending, but a continuation of the journey. Sign number 6, the sudden improvement, a burst of energy. One of the more curious signs that death is near is the sudden, often brief, improvement in a person's health. Those who are frail and weak, who have been battling illness or frailty for months or even years, may experience a sudden burst of energy or a period of time when they feel unusually well. This burst can seem like a miraculous recovery, during which the person may become more alert, more active, and more engaged with the world around them. It's as if the body finds the strength for one final burst before it succumbs to its natural end. The timing of this surge of energy is often perplexing to doctors and family members. A person who has been bedbound and lethargic may suddenly sit up, engage in conversation, and show interest in activities they had long stopped enjoying. It can be mistaken for recovery, but it's usually very short-lived, followed by a rapid decline. It's as if the body rallies itself for one final act of strength, gathering enough energy to say goodbye, to tie up loose ends, and to find peace before the final journey. Many who have experienced this burst of energy speak of it as a gift, one last opportunity to live fully before the end. It's during this time that some may reconnect with loved ones, engage in important conversations, or even take care of practical matters that they had not been able to address before. There is often a sense of purpose and clarity during this brief resurgence, a feeling that the body is preparing to let go but needs a moment to gather itself. This sudden improvement is often seen as a spiritual and physical closing of the cycle. It's not a sign of miraculous recovery, but rather a natural part of the body's process of preparing for death. In many cultures, it's believed that this burst of energy is a sign that the soul is preparing for its departure, allowing the person to complete their journey with a final flourish of vitality. It's a moment of grace, a final gift from the body, allowing the person to leave this world with dignity and peace. If you or someone you know experiences this sudden burst of energy, don't view it as an attempt to stave off death, but as part of the natural process of completing one's life. It's a sign that the body has done what it needed to do, and now it's ready to let go. Sign number 7, the acceptance of death, a calm, peaceful acceptance. As death draws near, many people experience a profound sense of peace, a quiet readiness for what's to come. It's a gentle acceptance that the time has come to let go of the world and all that it holds. This acceptance doesn't come with fear or resistance. Rather, it's a calm understanding that death is a natural part of life's cycle, something that must be faced when the time is right. In the final days, weeks, or even hours, those who are nearing death often exhibit a serene acceptance. This can manifest in different ways. Some may express their readiness through their words, while others show it through their actions. There's no longer any desire to fight against the inevitable. Instead, there is a peaceful surrender to the process of dying. It's as if the soul has come to terms with its departure, and now it is simply waiting, content in the knowledge that it will soon be free. For some, this acceptance can also involve a sense of forgiveness, whether it's forgiving others or forgiving themselves. The need for unresolved issues or emotional baggage to be carried forward dissipates, and the mind, body, and spirit find solace in letting go. It's a peaceful resolution, as though the soul understands that the journey is complete, and there's no more need for fear, guilt, or pain. Family members and friends who witness this peaceful acceptance are often struck by the calmness that pervades the person's demeanor. It's as if the person has come full circle, accepting the end of their earthly journey with grace and dignity. They are no longer afraid of the unknown, but seem ready to step into the next chapter, confident and at peace with the life they have lived. This acceptance doesn't mean that there isn't sadness, grief, or a sense of loss for those left behind, but for the one who is passing, it is a profound moment of spiritual clarity, a final surrender to the natural flow of life. The soul has made its peace, and the body is now free to rest. Conclusion. The journey is natural. Death is an inevitable part of life. It is a transition that each of us will eventually face, though none of us can know exactly when or how it will come. But as we've explored in these 7 signs, death is not something to be feared or avoided. It is simply the natural end to the journey we all must take. The signs we've discussed, the quiet knowing, the sudden fatigue, the urge to settle matters, the peaceful detachment, the visitations, the burst of energy, and the calm acceptance, are not causes for alarm, but markers along the path that help us prepare for the end with grace. Embracing these signs allows us to live more fully, knowing that every day is a gift, every relationship is precious, and every moment is worth cherishing. And when the time comes, as it inevitably will, we can meet it with a sense of peace, understanding, and acceptance, knowing that we have lived our lives to the fullest and are ready to let go. In the end, death is not an end, but a transition. It's simply the closing of one chapter and the beginning of another. And while it's something that can't be avoided, it's also something that need not be feared. The greatest gift we can give ourselves and those who love us is to approach the end of our journey with the same peace, acceptance, and grace that we strive for throughout our lives. So, live fully, love deeply, and when your time comes, may you face it with the same wisdom, understanding, and serenity as those who have walked this path before you. Remember, the journey does not end with death. It simply moves into a new form. And in that, there is comfort, there is peace, and there is eternal love.